Don't need too much. Just enough to get full.
Right guys, I made some fajitas now. Oh. So good.
I don't know, there's something spicy in here, but I'm not sure what it is.
I think it's tomato.
No, tomatoes ain't spicy, it's something else. I think it's this green stuff right here. My mouth keep catching fire.
How's the sauce?
Good.
The dip.
The dip is good.
Alright guys, tatapusin na namin yung pagkain namin. We're gonna finish our food.
Alright, peeps.
Hi guys, welcome again. We just got home from our lunch dinner date for Veterans Day. So, ito naman ngayon ang gagawin ko. I'm gonna have a question and answer my veterans, my husband. Are you ready for my questions? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. First question. Where and when you joined in the Navy?
I joined back in 1987 in Michigan. I went through MEPS in Detroit. That's where I joined, and they sent me off to boot camp in Orlando, Florida.
Okay, that's it? Yeah?
Yeah, basically
Okay,
it.
so what do you remember about the day you enlisted?
Honestly, not too much anything. Yeah, I really can't answer that question because I don't remember.
Okay. Let's go to another question. How did you tell your family and friends that you were joining the military?
I just came out and told them, basically, excuse me, I just told them that, you know, I was signing up, or that I had signed up, I was going to boot camp, I was only joining for the GI Bill so I could get some money for college, and I would be back home in 4 years.
Good job. Okay. What were some of the reasons that you joined the military? How did you choose your branch of service?
Well, it was a bunch of us actually that joined. What are you doing?
Okay, while you're talking, I have my show over here.
Your show. Okay. She doing her show.
Yeah. This is my show, Life with Lozanta. Keep talking. Go for it.
I'm trying to go for it, but you going for it instead.
I'm not gonna disturb you. Okay, finish it.
I forgot the question. what were some
What were some of the
reasons
reasons that you joined the military? How did you choose your branch?
Okay,
of service?
I chose my branch because a bunch of us from high school all joined roughly at the same time, and basically there were several of us, several of my high school classmates joined the Navy, and a good friend of mine said he was joining, and he introduced me to his recruiter, and I spoke to him, and he seemed like a good guy. So that's kind of how I ended up picking the Navy, and he did a good job in helping me picking my rate. So the reason for me joining, one was because some things happened and I needed money for college, so I was going in for the GI Bill, and from there it just kind of like I was going to do 4 years and come back home and then go to Michigan State. That was my original plan, just getting the GI Bill and coming back home.
Okay, what was the basic training like?
For me, basic training was like off the chain. It was so much fun. If I had that ID card, I had the biggest smile on my face when I took my ID card picture because I was having a blast. Boot camp in itself is nothing but a big mind game. So if you can get past the mind game aspect of it, then you can have a blast in boot camp.
Okay, since you said you had a blast in boot camp, can you tell me the moment from the boot camp was the funniest that you had in boot camp experience? Describe it.
I don't really know if there was really a funniest moment. I mean, there was just things that happened in boot camp, but it was boot camp, so there was no funniest moment in boot camp. It was.
But
just,
you enjoyed and you had fun.
Yeah, I mean, because it was fun. It wasn't like oh, I'm in boot camp, I'm scared or anything like that. No, it wasn't like that. That's what they try to portray boot camp as being. But like I said, it's all about this right here. So if you're strong up here, you can get through boot camp.
So now let's come to deployment. Okay, you had your deployment the last 4 years in your service, right?
Oh yeah,
You're here in
basically.
San Diego.
Yeah.
So what are some things you remember most about your deployment?
Just being able to go see other parts of the world. I think that was one of the biggest things. But also one of the hardest things was being away from home.
Yeah.
Because our youngest son, he was still a baby. I essentially, being on deployment, being on the ship, we weren't deployed the entire time I was on the ship, but that ship was gone a lot of the time. So I missed, between going to school and learning a new job, coming back to San Diego and then deploying and then coming back and all the other stuff. I missed a lot of time with him as a baby. That was like the hardest time of being on the ship and being deployed. But making those videos and on deployment and sending them back, that way he could still see my face and recognize my voice and stuff like that, then I think that really helped because there was a bonding period, that was missed.
Yeah.
During that time frame. So
Yeah, because I'm gonna deduct his story. In his first deployment, we have 3 months old baby, so it was hard for him to go in deployment because we have baby and we have 3 boys. So plus the end of his career for 4 years, his first deployment, right, Han?
yeah.
Yeah. So that was the hard part for him. So let's go to another question. Can you describe how you felt coming home after deployment?
Oh, that's the best thing since sliced bread, peanut butter and jelly. The way I look at it, you're gone 7, 8 months. You come home, and your family. You miss me. The boys miss me.
That's true.
I missed you guys. And seeing you out on the pier. Waiting for me to come off the ship. That's just like being welcomed home. That's a feeling that's hard to describe. You see it in the movies or whatever. You see it on TV and you see people crying, and you got people seeing their babies for the first time because guys are deployed and their wives are home and they've had babies and they weren't home to see the birth of their children. That whole atmosphere is just like a totally different experience. It's like really overwhelming. You really appreciate coming back home and being with your family again. It's great.
Yeah, I wanted to add it up too, like, as a wife with our kids, waiting for him to come home. It's really excited to know that he's coming home for us. So, it's very, oh, you feel like so excited and what?
Well, you
I want to cry.
Yeah, you telling your part
It's
of the
very
story.
emotional.
Yeah, it is
I know,
emotional.
very emotional. I can tell, so excited when I learned that he's coming home from deployment.
Yeah, I mean, we really don't even
Yeah.
sleep the last night on the ship when we know we're pulling in to port the next day. Nobody is really asleep. You can't sleep because you're just so excited about, finally, coming home. That's just like something that if you haven't experienced it, then it's hard to really explain, but it's a different kind of feeling.
Yeah, so, okay, another question. Is there someone you serve with that you remember fondly, or can you tell me about her or him?
Well, I mean, I served with a lot of people. And because of an incident where I hit my head, on the ship, a lot of people's names, I forgot. It's a good thing. It's one thing, I recommend, for people that may join. You got to take pictures of everybody, everything that you do, every place you go. But, I was surrounded by a lot of good people for the most part my entire career, so some of those people I'm still friends with to this day. A guy named Jody Wilson. He was actually in my Big Brother company in boot camp.
Shout out, Jody Wilson.
Okay. He was in my Big Brother company. Then we went to the same A school together. Then we got stationed at the same first duty station together. Me and this guy have been friends for over 30 years now. Real good guy. There's so many people. Roy Tarpley. I met my big brother Roy in my first duty station.
What's
Okinawa.
up, Roy?
Roy Tarpley. Big brother. Held me down. As a young seaman, making sure I stayed out of trouble. It just goes on and on. I just met so many people throughout my career. I could just name off person after person after person every place that I went. Because I'm still friends with a lot of different people. Throughout the military, even now that we've retired. All of us that I came in with now have retired. So.
Okay. Did you break any rules while you in military?
Everybody break rules while in the military.
Did you?
No, of course. It's just a matter of did I get caught
so
doing
I'm sure, did you ever get away with the...
Yeah, I got away with everything I did.
Hey, I think
So,
it was everybody's doing. Whatever he
yeah.
break the rules, I don't know. So that's on him.
Everybody broke rules. You know, it's just a matter, did you get caught? Yes or no? Because if you got caught, then you probably went to cabin's mass or something like that. You got some kind of trouble, extra duty or something like that. So, yeah, I broke rules. Did I get caught? No. So, hey, there you
Lucky.
go. Not lucky, just smooth. I'm smooth. That's all it is to it. Smooth.
All right, let's talk about your retiring. Okay, you already retired. Okay, when you retired, what was the process like?
Oh, the retiring was horrible. That was like the worst transition ever. Being on the ship, trying to retire is horrible. You know, anybody that's retiring should be on shore duty when they're transitioning out of the military. There's so many things you have to do, trying to find a job and, you know, trying to go to these classes and trying to get a good resume done and, you know, trying to go to job interviews, trying to get moved. Yeah, man, just a huge headache. You know,
Huge transition.
Yeah, you really need to be on shore duty where you can transition, you know, easily, you know, without the hassle of, you know, trying to do stuff from the ship. The ship is getting underway and they're trying to make you go and you're trying to stay. And oh yeah, that was horrible, you know. And then even after I retired, you know, I still didn't get a job for like 2.5 months, almost 3 months before I even found a job. So, you know, as I said earlier, you know, I was away from my youngest son, you know, for, you know, 4 years of his life. When I retired, you know, I spent, you know, almost every day with him, you know, when I retired. So we made up for a lot of time in that time frame, you know, taking him to school, picking him up, walking him home, you know, fixing him, you know, lunch when, you know, when he got out of school, just all that kind of stuff. That just kind of like gave us a brand new bond. So, but transitioning out of the military, oh man, that was horrible. I'll never forget that experience.
Yeah, I can tell my husband that he was so stressed. He was so stressful when he was trying to get out of the military. I mean, to retire. So, you know, but I was always with him, you know, to you know, lift up your spirit.
Okay.
To lift up your spirit, to get the
spirit.
depressed. Yeah. So, okay, let's go another questions. What were your first few months out in the military like?
Well, I mean, they were good from the standpoint of me just trying to spend time with my son. After, you know, we got settled in a little apartment, you know, while I was still looking for us a home. You know, the apartment was right by the school, so I mean that was great because, like I said, I, you know, walked him to school, picked him up. You know, he was always excited to see me standing outside his door, you know, waiting for him to come out at the end of the day. So that right there in itself, you know, that was a blessing for me. You know, that was my special bonding moment with my son, and you know, that was the best part for me then. Just being able to, you know, wake up and be with him, you know, and get him off to school and stuff like that. So yeah, that was great.
That's right. Okay, was there anything or any more that helped you during the transition from military to civilian life?
Was there anything to help me?
Anybody?
No, actually, no, it wasn't. I did all that on my own.
Yeah.
You know.
Remember, I went with you to go to veterans. Is that veterans over there?
Yeah. We went over there
and then we stopped because, like, you know.
Yeah, it was. You know, honestly, I really can't remember that whole transition period. it was a blur because of the way it happened, and I was really just trying to get through it because everything was happening so quickly. You know, it was bad. So I really can't tell you everything I did when I did retire. I was just going through the motions, trying to retire and trying to get us a place to stay and trying to find a job and, you know, trying to keep my sense of reality because I was stressed. It was horrible.
I know. I can tell you're so stressed.
I can't put it no other kind of way. I was stressed all the way out.
Yeah, but through prayers, I just keep praying with him that, you know, he make it all the way to his transition smooth. Okay, now do you have advice for other transitioning out of the military?
Yeah, hey, the best thing I can tell you, if at all possible, if you're on a ship, try to get off that joker early, or try to ensure you get some time away from that joker so you can handle, you know, all the things that you need to get taken care of before you retire. That's my biggest advice.
Okay, another one. When you were first discharged, what are some things about civilians that were difficult for you to deal with?
After I got my job, the most difficult thing to deal with was I didn't have anybody my age to associate with. The company that I worked for, mostly everybody there were a good 10 to 15 years or more older than me, so I didn't really fit in. That was the hardest part of the transition. You know, it's just, you know, you can't relate, or they can't relate to you and your way of thinking. So that was horrible. I won't say it was horrible, but it was difficult.
All right.
Yeah.
So, what are some habits you develop in the service that you like and dislike?
Habits that I like and dislike?
Yeah, likes and dislike.
There is no real dislikes, because, you know, you tailor, you know, your military life around what you like. You know, you're not gonna like everything that you have to do when you're in the military. You don't like everything you have to do in life. So there's some things you just can't get past. But, you know, you set your routine, and, you know, when you do that, you know, you're doing what you enjoy. So that's the way that really goes.
Okay, what are something you miss about being in the service? What did you miss being in the service?
You know, I miss being around, you know, my friends, that camaraderie that we had. That's the one thing that you'll see, I think, when you retire. You know, when you're around and when you're with a certain group of people all the time, you know, you build this bond. You know, you have this way of working together, and then when you switch from that to being a civilian, you kind of lose that in transition, especially if there's people that you work with that haven't been in the military. They don't understand your mindset and your concepts on the way you want to do things and how, you know, you like for things to flow. And it's like a serious transition trying to fit in with civilians because just the different mindset.
Okay, that's a great answer. Now, do you have advice to other military couples?
The only advice I can give to military couples is, you know, you got to stick. You have to stick with it. You got to stick together. It's not always going to be, you know, sunny skies and, you know, roses. Mm-hmm. You know, you're going to have some cloudy days. You're going to have some storms.
That's right. It's not only happy moments all the time.
Right. So
You have your ups and downs, but you have to stick together.
yeah, that's the
you
most
know.
important thing.
Communication is the most important. Okay, so these couples who has kids, I have a questions to you. If you have advice to our boys, we have 3 boys. What do you want them to know about your military life service?
I think they know everything about my service because I still talk about it.
Your experience?
Yeah, I tell them the stories, the good and the bad, and I tell them the funny stuff, so they generally know about everything that I did to some degree while I was on active duty. So they know everything. So there's not there's not no one specific thing that I want them to know because even to this day I still talk about stuff that I did, and they probably heard my stories 20, 30 times at this point, but it's just the life that I led. So, and those are the memories that I have.
Okay, that's a great answer. Okay, now you're retired. How you compare your life as civilian before while you still active military?
Civilian life is harder than active duty
Really?
military life. Yeah.
I thought it was
No.
military life.
No.
Really?
Yeah.
So advise those who are, getting to retired, my husband said civilian life is hard. But I thought was military life was harder.
Military life
So,
is hard.
I don't know.
Deploying, being on a ship, deploying.
I'm just behind him.
That type of stuff is difficult, but that stuff doesn't last all the time. And even though it's difficult deploying and being underway and all that, being away from your family, you're still with family because you build a relationship with the people on the ship. So you're not alone. But even then, the life is still an easy life. It's not a difficult life, even though you're on a ship. It's not an impossible life where you're like, oh, woe is me, dread,
Okay.
It's not like that. Them days out to sea, they're still fun. We find ways to have fun. So, it's just the way it is.
Okay, last question. While you deployed, what is the best memory from your wife? From me. Tell me about the best memory while you deployed. Because I have best memory for you. Tell me, what is the best memory for you while you deploy? What I do to you while you deploy? I must do something for a little bit of something that you're. What? Why are you looking at me?
I want to know what
Tell
memory
me.
you had.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you after you tell me.
You're gonna tell me? Okay. Well, my best memory is like we have mail call. Mail call when you're deployed. That's like we get mail while we're out to sea. So it's not like we pull in somewhere and then the mail truck comes up to the ship and drops off the mail. We're out to sea out there on all that water, and you got this ship over here and you got our ship right here, and they zip line the mail over, or you have a helicopter come over and drop the mail off on the flight deck or something like that. So we get mail while we're out to sea, and when you get mail, that's like Christmas. It's like Christmas underway because your family, they may have wrote you letters, sent you cards, sent you candy, food, all that kind of stuff. And that's just like, when you receive that stuff, it's like,
That's your best memory.
yeah, that's your best memory. And that's like, that's a point in time where, it's touched your heart because you feel like,
You love.
you got a piece of home.
Yes.
You know.
So he already said what I'm gonna tell him, the best memory. I kept sending him some goodies since he loves cookies. Gotta have cookies with this man. With milk.
What's wrong with you?
And all kinds of goodies. He loves it. And of course, our boys' pictures and family pictures. So they'll be happy out there, and he don't forget us. So that's the best memory that I'm doing for him while he's deployed. Right?
Right.
Okay. So that's gonna be it. Our questions and answer for Veterans Day. Thank you, my asawa ko, my honey. Thank you for, sit down with me for questions and answers. You want to say to my audience, to my viewers, want to say something?
Hey, viewers. No, it was great sitting down with you guys. Hasta luego.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys like it. What my husband questions is.
Answers.
My answer. I'm sorry. So today's Veterans Day. I would like to say Happy Veterans Day to all the military.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day to all my brothers and sisters in arms. That goes out to all four services: Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. And I will also include the Coast Guard, because they are a service as well. Big ups to everyone now and yesterday and those that are still to come. It is an honor to serve and protect your country.
Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comments below, and subscribe. Thank you. Life with Lozanta. Bye-bye.
Peace.